So what are we actually doing here?
We're evaluating the effectiveness of the Admiral Cockburn Land and Sea National Park off the southern coast of South Caicos and the Turks and Caicos Islands.
This national park supports populations of commercially important fish like groupers and snappers, and larger animals such as sharks and rays, all of which are important to maintaining healthy ocean ecosystems. While fishing is prohibited within the park, these populations are facing increasing threats due to South Caicos' growing tourism industry.
Looking at the abundance of these fish in the national park can tell us if it's doing its job in protecting them from these threats.
To measure abundance, we use a technique called BRUVS.
This is a BRUVS unit, baited remote underwater video system. We put the bait in this canister right here, and then we strap it onto this end of the BRUV like so. And then we throw her overboard, attached to this rope with a buoy so that we can find it after an hour.
And then our lovely GoPro records all the things that come to visit. Hopefully lots of elasmobranchs, sharks and rays.
By counting the number of fish that appear on video, this technique allows us to get an idea of their abundance within the park. This helps inform fisheries management and conservation efforts. It also allows us to look at behavior patterns.
Let's meet the cast of characters.
First up, we have the Caribbean reef shark. This was our most frequent shark visitor to the BRUVS units. The amount of times we saw them indicates that they might be the most abundant species of shark in the protected area. They were usually interested in the bait, but were a little too cautious to bite it.
The nurse sharks, on the other hand, were much more eager to try and get to the food in our bait canisters. This shark species was our second most frequent shark spotted on our footage.
We only saw 2 great hammerhead sharks in all of our footage, but when we did, it was very exciting. They were often eager to interact with the bait, being very aggressive with the canister.
Our 2 ray species, the white-spotted eagle ray and the southern stingray, were also frequent visitors to the BRUVS.
Most of our eagle ray observations came from large groups flying past the units, seemingly not very interested in the bait.
We originally thought that they would be more interested when we used queen conch as bait, because it's closer to their natural diet than our other bait. And while overall we saw a lot of them when we used conch as opposed to other bait types, those sightings were limited to 2 hours of footage, meaning more tests need to be done with conch to confirm this trend.
Southern stingrays were also observed in about the same amount as eagle rays, and only sometimes approached the bait to investigate.
In comparison to a past assessment of shark and ray populations in this area, the populations have stayed steady or even increased slightly. This is good news as it suggests that the national park is protecting and supporting stable communities of these fish.
We also looked for commercially important fish, which tended to be more abundant than the sharks and rays, with the majority of them being jacks, groupers, and snappers. Overall, we saw all species in a variety of habitats across the park, indicating that they utilize the entire protected area and that there is a high level of interconnectivity between all the habitat types.
With all the sharks, rays, and other fish that we observed in our footage, we found that the national park supported high biodiversity, particularly in the reef habitats. Biodiversity is a crucial aspect of a healthy ecosystem and another indicator that this protected area is doing its job.
Even though we found this national park to be effective, the job is not done. Continual monitoring of ecologically and economically important fish is needed to maintain the populations at healthy levels. This is especially important with the threats posed by increasing pollution and activity within the national park rising as South Caicos continues to develop its tourism industry.
This study acts as a baseline for future reference so we can catch any population decline early, and intervention can be implemented to minimize damages to the important ecosystems. By preserving populations and habitats, we are ensuring that future generations will be able to utilize the resources of the Admiral Cockburn Land and Sea National Park to their fullest potential.